A grizzled mechanic, with a permanent grease smudge on his forehead, grinned. "Does morale enrichment include a zero-G luau with the synth ale we borrowed from the supply ship?" "Full speed ahead, Riggs," Jax commanded. Within hours, Aurelia Prime was no longer a military outpost. It was a galactic carnival. The Petty Officers Club was no longer backing up because the crew had simply bypassed the plumbing to create a fountain of glowing purple soda. Pip was running around with a clipboard, trying to authorize the construction of a beach made of pulverized moon dust in the middle of the rifle range. Suddenly, the comms buzzed. "Commander Jax? We've got a scramble. PT Space Boat 73 is on the tail of a Zilari spy probe. Tell them to keep their heads down," Pip shouted into the comms, distracted by a list of entertainment for the night. "We've got garter belts to deliver and a party to start." The party was in full swing when the Chancellor's sleek, black chrome cruiser docked. The Starhoppers had transformed the cargo bay into a Hula Nebula lounge, complete with holographic palm trees and girls from the nearby moon base Delta dancing in grass skirts made of shredded circuit wire. Jax was halfway through a toast when the bay doors hissed open. Chancellor Vane stepped out, his medals clinking like a funeral march. "Welcome to Aurelia Prime, Chancellor," Jax said, not even bothering to take off his sunglasses. "Acting Commander Jax at your service. This is my XO, Pip." Ignore the lei around his neck. "It's an ancient Earth custom for warding off." "Ah, space ghoul." Vane stared at a dancing girl who was currently wearing a stabilizer strap as a headband. "Jax. I heard Bellows was in the infirmary. I didn't realize he was running a galactic strip club." Chapter 3. The Archon and the Princesses. The chaos only intensified when the station received a distress signal from a royal transport. It was the Great Archon of Nebulon, an immensely wealthy and incredibly sensitive alien dignitary, traveling with his 3 daughters, the princesses of the Starsilk Isles. Jax and the crew of the Voyager 7-3, their modified scout ship, performed a daring rescue, pulling the Archon's gilded yacht out of a black hole's gravity well. "I am Karim," the Archon announced as he stepped onto the Voyager 7-3, draped in robes made of woven starlight. "Are these men to be trusted with my priceless cargo?" "Absolutely, Your Highness," Jax said. "My crew is as silent as the vacuum of space. Except Pip. He hums when he's nervous." Riggs caught a glimpse of the princesses and whispered, "Wow, wow, wow. Those aren't aliens. Those are angels." The Archon bristled. "The next man to debase the dignity of my daughters will answer to my laser scimitar." The crew spent the next 3 days walking on eggshells. However, Pip had managed to accidentally date one of the princesses, a girl named Siri, by promising her a ride in the scout ship while Jax was distracted. The trouble started during a formal dinner, hosted by a recovered Commander Bellows. Bellows was desperate to prove Jax was incompetent, but the Archon loved Jax's rugged, commoner charm. In a desperate move to stall for time when Pip was late returning Siri to the station, the crew convinced the Archon's other 2 daughters to perform a traditional Nebulon veil dance. Since Siri was missing, Riggs put on a veil and a wig, attempting to shimmy his way through the performance. Bellows, suspicious of the 3rd daughter's hairy legs, lunged at the dancer. "I knew it, an impostor." He ripped the veil off, revealing a terrified, bearded Riggs. The Archon stood up, his face turning a dangerous shade of obsidian. "You dare insult my bloodline with this bearded mockery? I shall raid your capital. I shall tell the High Command that Sector 73 is a madhouse." Bellows spent the rest of the night chasing Pip through the vents with a ceremonial sword, screaming about international incidents. Chapter 4. The Laughing Gas Coup. Bellows eventually decided he'd had enough. He convened a fitness board to have Pip and Jax court-martialed and stripped of their ranks. "I'm gonna break you down to space private 2nd class so fast your head will spin," Bellows yelled through Jax's office door. Jax, however, had a secret weapon. The station's dental bay had just received a fresh shipment of nitrous oxide laughing gas to treat the crew's toothaches. "If we can get Bellows into a happy mood," Jax whispered to Pip, "he'll cancel the hearing." The crew rigged the station's ventilation system. As Bellows marched into Jax's office to deliver the final charges, Pip signaled Riggs to let her rip. The gas flooded the room. Within seconds, Bellows' angry scowl softened. A giggle escaped his lips. Then a chortle. Then a full-blown, belly-shaking roar of laughter. "Oh, Queenie Winnie," Bellows shrieked, slapping Jax on the back. "You torpedoed the garbage scow? That's hilarious. It looked like a Xylari spy sub? Oh, you're a riot. And shucky wucky Pip, you're the best XO a commander could ever want." Bellows began dancing around the office, tossing the court-martial papers into the air like confetti. "Cancel the hearing. Promotion for everyone. I love this sector. I love the war. I love." Is that a butterfly? Unfortunately, the High Admiral Shoemaker arrived at that exact moment. He walked into the office to find the base commander, wearing a wastebasket on his head, singing a song about a lonely moon cow, while Captain Jax tried to hide a giant gas tank behind a curtain. "Bellows," Shoemaker roared. "What in the name of the Great White Fleet is going on here?" "Oh, showy woey," Bellows giggled, trying to pinch the Admiral's cheek. "You're just in time for the party. Want to see Pip do a fire drill? He's magnificent." Jax eventually managed to save the day by convincing the Admiral that Bellows was suffering from combat fatigue and atmospheric hallucinations. While Pip accidentally shot down a Xylari drone during his fire drill, making them all look like heroes. Chapter 5. Zog the Xeno Lizard and the Stolen Payroll. The final straw came when the station's payroll 62,000 galactic credits in a heavy canvas bag went missing. Commander Bellows had set a trap. He left his wallet, containing the master key to the payroll vault, on a bench in the Nebula Garden, the station's park, hoping Jax would steal it. Instead, the station's mascot, a 3-foot-long, 6-legged xeno lizard named Zog, found the wallet. Zog, who had a taste for synthetic leather and Pippi's peanut butter sandwiches, promptly swallowed the wallet whole. Pip found Zog and noticed the lizard was choking on a piece of ID card. "Captain," Zog ate Bellows. "Look, here's his ID." Jax laughed. He didn't eat Bellows, Pip. He just ate his dignity. Bellows, seeing Jax with the lizard, immediately called for a court-martial. "I've got you now, Jax. Theft of the base payroll. I saw that lizard in your quarters. And I know you're using him as a high-tech pickpocket." The trial was a farce. Jax acted as Zog's defense attorney. "Your Honor," Jax said to the presiding judge, "my client, Zog, is a victim of a tragic upbringing. He was abandoned on a desert planet. He doesn't understand the concept of private property." "I object," Bellows screamed. "That lizard is a criminal mastermind. Look at his eyes. He's plotting something." "Sir," Peep interrupted, "Zog just wants a sandwich." The climax occurred when Jax brought Zog into the courtroom. To prove the lizard was the one who took the wallet, Jax held up a peanut butter sandwich. Zog opened his mouth wide, and with a wet thwack, Bellows' wallet, partially digested, but still containing the marked bills, flew out and landed on the judge's desk. The judge looked at the bills, then at Bellows' signature on the trap setup forms Jax had found. "Commander Bellows." The judge sighed. "Setting traps with the base payroll is a violation of sector protocol. Charges against Captain Jax and Lieutenant Puter are dismissed. As for you, I suggest you take a long leave of absence." As Bellows was led away, muttering about pirates and lizards, Jax leaned back in his chair. "Well, Pip," Jax said, "another day in paradise. Think we can get Zog to swallow the station's electric bill next?" "Wow, wow, wow," Pip whispered. "I'll go get the peanut butter." The Voyager 7-3 roared into the star-studded night. The Starhoppers ready for their next mission or their next party, whichever came first. At the end, The Rogues of Astraile, a novel of cosmic incompetence and tactical brilliance. Chapter 1. The Director's Neurosis. The Isle of Astra was a humid, neon-drenched rock floating in the middle of the Sapphire Sea, serving as the primary security outpost for the Galactic Federation. It was a place of strategic importance, high-tech weaponry, and most importantly, Director Barnaby Iron Grit. Grimsby's impending nervous breakdown. Grimsby sat behind his floating obsidian desk, clutching a bottle of anti-acid gel as if it were a holy relic. Across from him stood the base supply officer, a man whose primary